Hello everyone, I'm Extra Cheesy 87, and this is Let's Play Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Apollo Justice Part 3. In the previous video, we got to the end of Part 1 of Episode 1, because that's a thing now. Let's jump back in. I'm clicking and nothing is happening. I guess, okay, so if I hit from episode start, that's not gonna restart the whole thing, is it? Because I'm clicking and nothing's happening. April. Okay. So it counts as its own like distinct thing. Got it. I didn't know if that just counted as like a checkpoint through the same episode. If I hit from episode start, it was going to start us back at the very beginning of the tutorial section. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga Orley, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness. She's still Russian. We couldn't fix that. Wow, that's funny to me. I don't even think that's a funny joke, but it's something about that got me. I mean, it's in bad taste to laugh at your own jokes, but I mean, somebody's got to laugh at them, and if nobody else will, I guess I will. Perhaps you can hear a version of the events again. That's the thing, you see, she's still quite Russian. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne. Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss Orley take the stand. Very well. Witness will take the stand. Not that fatigued. She's still holding that thing like a champ. Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Okay, I guess that's a no. Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser. Not. Oh shit, she's a pirate. Name's Olga Orley, and that's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quickfingers Orley. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my nice last name sounds like, oh really? Does it? I'll take your word for it. There, that's the truth. Hope you're satisfied. I told you, every character becomes Southern at some point. Now, did I purposely switch to a Southern voice because of that joke I made earlier? Yes and no. I think subconsciously, I had already decided that I don't know what the voice to give her now, if she's changed her nationality, if she's become a different stereotype. I don't know what to make her sound like yet. But then the active decision was like, wouldn't it be funny if we gave her a Southern accent after making that joke last video? That's the deep lore behind that. Witness! You will tell the court what you were really up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. I had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you're currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Well, not really. It's actually... Well, the court system's been really busy. We haven't really gotten around to, like, making perjury illegal. We just tell people it is, but there's no actual punishment for it. You get community service at most, but even that, like, we just tell them to go pick up some trash and, like, hope they do it. We can't enforce it. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy Smith hired me to do what I do best. I was playing at the Borscht Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game as a waitress. You were in cahoots with the victim? You just say cahoots to me, boy? Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of the game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. The plan was simple, elegant really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Mr. Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards. exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it, it would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all his prior wins. 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan. Oh, really? Oh, really? How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake. A mistake? It is also funny, we made a joke about how she's still Russian, and then it ends up being immediately revealed that she has been cured of being Russian. That joke accidentally had layers to it. I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet what happened to that planted card? Hey, that's right! Actually writes the defendant. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quickfingers. Oh, really? Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispersed with the evil mastermind shtick. I don't want to be cute. I want to be evil. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad, you hear me? Bad to the bone. When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court? Fine. Tell me about this trap and how it was sprung. The best laid traps. At night, I planted a card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Next moment, Wright picked up a bottle and swung it. It wasn't me that hit Smith. It was a no good cheating defendant. Well, technically he didn't cheat, but like, imagine if he had cheated. A surprisingly frank testament that still leaves us mostly in the dark. Trap is perfect. I tell you, perfect. That rotten cheater had messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony for what it's worth is all yours, Mr. Justice. Witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Get pressed? I'm pressing you? Get poked? You've been poked? This planted card. Which card was it exactly? The trump card. The 5 of hearts. That didn't really seem that useful. Let me guess. Mr. Wright was to have switched the 5 with the ace to make a full house? At least that's what you were going to accuse him of doing, thereby ruining his legend? Okay. I slid it into Wright's pocket. When was this? Why, before the match, of course, while he was eating. At the Borscht Bowl Club, we serve borscht and suckers. Remind me to never go there. Even though I would like to try some of this aforementioned. You know what the next word is gonna be. You know what the next 3 letters are gonna be. You can finish the joke. I'm not saying it. Of course, the card was to make its grand debut during the game. Like a good borscht, a good plot must be cooked up early and allowed to thicken. Or I don't know, I don't really know what borscht is. So everything went according to plan. Exactly. The 5th ace came up, so it's obvious the switch went off without a hitch. Once the extra card was found in his pocket, Wright would be forever known as a cheat and a fraud. There are worse things to be known as, I suppose. So tell us what happened with the search. The card was gone. The card disappeared? Yeah, my trump card, the 5 of hearts. Gone! Out of trace. Poof! Zippo! Searched every nook and cranny. Even inside his cute little hat. But the card was nowhere to be found? Is this correct? And, backtracking. Just to get it on the testimony. You find his hat cute. If, me, Apollo Justice, were to wear a hat, could we go out on a date if I was wearing such a cute little hat? You have already stated on the record that you found it cute. Therefore, you cannot say you don't find it cute, or else you would be guilty of perjury. Therefore, the options are go on a date or jail. The choice is yours, Miss Olga. Never in my long storied career, never as quick-fingered, oh really, been so readily duped. Oh really? So, what did happen to that 5 of hearts? Don't look at me. Why don't you ask that cheating, lying, two-faced defendant? So the 5 of hearts is still missing in action. I picked up a bottle and swung it. Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's that? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing. Which means he didn't cheat. Which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well, maybe he just didn't like the cut of his jib. What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? Oh no, his anime powers. They're about to activate. No, nothing, Your Honor. Does this man actually have anime powers? Yeah, sure, get pressed. Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? Me? Quick fingers, oh really? Had something. But I had these fists upside your head. The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it hit him up right up in the back of his head. I saw it when Mr. Wright hit him. With my own eyes I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? He has the power to vibe check people. That's the ultimate ability. That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly. She would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? What the hell? Whoa, what's going on, man? We spent all our budget on this effect. This sensation, it's coming into focus. There, that twitch, it's so clear. It's like I could perceive her, have it like I couldn't before, get perceived on. The gotcha? So really? Perhaps you're unaware of this yourself. Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. I mean, I feel like you shouldn't tell her that. You should like keep letting her say stuff, and then you can know if it's the truth or not, because you know her tell, and she doesn't know her tell. You know? My neck. So what? What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort. When she says that part of the testimony, she's subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit of scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. What sort of evidence do we have again? We have a real-life attorney's badge. Photo of the forehead, hat removed. I mean, none of this seems useful. Her habit of scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her most of the moment of the crime? So really, when you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed it happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an irreplaceable impression on your neck is this. An impression on your neck? The weapon? What? The weapon that left an erasable impression on your neck is this. I mean, I'm just thinking the bottle, but like that doesn't make, I don't get it. The weapon. Not really a weapon. Oh. Oh, okay. I didn't realize we could actually look at this. Whoa, the batteries are held with a piece of tape. You can just buy a new one. Maybe he can't afford it? Or he doesn't care? Alright, we'll try the phone, I guess. Sorry to disappoint. I don't have any particular memories of that. Yeah, okay. That must not have been it. Of course not, but like, none of those are weapons. You want to have it, Mr. Justice? I'll show you a habit. Haha! Gotta get this sorted out before I develop a habit of my own. Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she talks about the moment of the crime. What would remind her most of the moment of the crime? Well, I would assume a picture of the guy, but you didn't ask for that, you asked for the weapon. When you think about the moment of the crime. Okay, not good. We shouldn't be floundering this much this early. I just don't get the question. Because it's like, it's two different questions. Okay, I'm just gonna do what I should have done at the start, which is present the bottle. There's nothing really there, but... Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. What reminds us more of that moment than this bottle? The murder weapon. Because a bottle has a neck? Is that what they're going for? If so, that's stupid. But something doesn't fit. You were only the witness to the crime. Why would that make you touch your neck like you're in pain? I mean, doesn't it make more sense she touches her neck because she's nervous because she's lying? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit. Not you. I don't really get where they're going with this. It doesn't make any sense. This is cross-examination, not cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant. Justice, I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination. I'll explain later, just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet I am knowing nothing. How did she get that on so fast? We know you're not Russian. I was lying about not being Russian. The witness will testify, please. Now? Fine. Damn. Thought I'd fucking get him, man. He's the one who did it. I ain't let him out of my sight until the cops got there. Well. You seem uneasy. You try sitting up here. I mean, I guess technically I'm standing, but like, whatever, man. Her eyes are darting all over the place. It must be getting warm. Tell me, after the crime, what was the defendant like? Well, the bottle question is so weird. Because, like, on one hand, the bottle makes sense because they say the weapon. So it's like, of course, it should be the bottle so you present. But, like, all the dialogue beforehand, I don't know. Like, what would make her think about the crime? And I didn't really get where they were going with, like, she touches her neck because she feels like she's in pain. That doesn't make any damn sense. He must have been stunned by the weight of his crime. Sat in a daze at that table until the cops came. Wrong. Wrong. I believe you've gotten all the testimony you're going to get out of this witness. So what do you think about her testimony? I'll tell you what I think. Her testimony is flawed. is basically bogus. It contradicts the evidence.
What's that?
Well, show us this evidence, Mr. Just Ice. Evidence that you claim contradicts the testimony. She didn't let him out of her sight until the cops got there. I know there's some evidence that contradicts that. From the first floor. Get blasted. Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. I do kind of like that some of the prompts don't take away your HP, though. That it's only some of them. That is kind of... That's an interesting change. Because I did see that the HP roll actually popped up there, so that one did matter, but like all the other times we've gotten it wrong, it hasn't really punished us. Now that may just be because it's like the first case still. So it may get, you know, more strict later on. States that the police were alerted by a report from the defendant. And we know the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made that phone call from the first floor of the Borscht Bowl Club. What in tarnation? So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely. Is that a lobster? Man, he picked up a bottle and swung it that night. Wasn't the defendant. Hey, you remember this? We spent a lot of our budget on this, alright? You're gonna watch it again. Showdown time. You dirty cheat! Check his pockets, now! It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Bah! Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right, and he hit me. You some master of cheating you turn out to be. Okay. I mean, I still don't think you would reflexively touch your neck. That doesn't really make sense. It makes way more sense that she touches her neck because she's nervous. And she's lying. Than like, oh, she was hit there in the back of the neck. When I came to, victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure. Well, where does this leave us? Madness. This is madness. I'm dreaming. It must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all this. Here's our prosecution is at its wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame it. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Huh? I wasn't paying attention. Mr. Gavin, sir? I believe that as the defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss O'Reilly, and I don't use this term lightly, a big fat liar. Whose pants, I might even have to suggest, are on fire. I know, this court is a sacred place and we shouldn't throw around such accusations. But I feel like the circumstances, they call for it. In all my years of lawyering, I've never seen such a big fat liar whose pants I cannot confirm but I will not deny that they may in fact be on fire at this very moment. You see how the text is blocking her lower region. That's probably because there's fumes, smoke coming from the pants in origin that you cannot see just off the screen. What? We were in that room the night of the murder. The defendant, the victim, and her. And she has a motive. A motive? Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with her client, Mr. Smith. And the denouement of the argument was murder. What? I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. Probably them damn Russians did it. All because I was being a caricature. And they're like, oh, we're gonna frame you for murder. I'm standing in front of her. You can't see her anymore because my, what do you call these things? Not really a portrait, but my picture is bigger. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Holy shit, he's got bars. Mr. Right? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin. What are you saying? Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. And it was you! Right, like Mr. Wright was saying for recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know 2 colors of cards were being used. A 4th person. How's he not gonna notice when he's picking up, or, you know, whoever it is not noticing they're picking up the card? In this theory again, your 4th person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance for deception. Perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? Oh god, if it's a fucking ghost, man, my ass is retiring. Alright, you bring one motherfucking ghost into this courtroom again, Phoenix Wright, I am out. We're in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less.
What?
Apollo. Perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Nah, man, that was like 3 hours ago. Or like at least 2.5. Or, okay, a little over 2. The number keeps going down. It was actually 10 minutes ago when we recorded the first video. Sorry. Remember what I said. The 4th person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considering the color on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there's... So it is it really this Christoph guy's the one who killed him? Because I kind of, like, I semi said that as a joke, but kind of believed it, but he did mention the blue cards were used last, right? So, and I guess that's why he would have wanted Apollo over him to be his defense attorney. There's one person here in our court who thought those cards were blue. Yeah, I have that impression too, but why? Well, Apollo, think you can figure out who it was?
It's not me, I swear.
Who's this 4th person? I don't always get put on the spot like this. Let's see what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards used in the final game were blue? Get fucking blasted. As I expected. Your eyes and ears are sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin. You were the 4th person that night. What? Oh, of course Mr. Gavin knows the color of the cards. How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. Can't tell which of the cards are blue. One's on the floor of the table. But look! You can see the colors of the photo! Yes, and when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light. It is true the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it was only that, a game in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor.
Competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passions. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome. Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin! Is something the matter? Huh? No, nothing. Excuse me. I was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you? Oh, Christoph? You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. No wonder he didn't know how to work the boombox. He's evil! The boombox knows, man. It won't let itself be played by a man with an evil mind. Or a woman with an evil mind, alright? It doesn't discriminate. It can see through the hearts of people. This is going beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant's accusing his own defense attorney of murder? Well, no, we're his defense attorney. Christoph's just like a guy. I assure you I'm quite sane.
Well, what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either.
But Mr. Gavin and the victim have never even met.
Well, what if they have? There is a possibility, after all. They may have met that night before the game started.
What are you suggesting?
Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you testify to the court. Objection! Also, the defense would also like to ask, if you're accusing my boss of murder, and you're right, will I be paid for this month? Because, like, that's important. Because if I'm going to lose my paycheck, you know, I would like to pursue justice and all that, but man's got to eat, so maybe your ass is going to prison. You know? The defense would like to request no such thing. Mr. Gavin? Testimonies just relate to the case. How can anything happening before that game of poker be related? I'm not sure I follow, Mr. Gavin. As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly... Am I to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you. Mr. Justice, the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear his testimony? Yeah. This is Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along? And I intend to see it through. The defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court. It's who, Justice? You would betray me, your teacher? Sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth. Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, will take the stand, please. I'm already at the stand. I've been standing this whole time. You can't see it, my legs are quivering. Been standing for 4 hours straight. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at the table in the photograph. Shotty Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dine with him rather frequently.
And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder?
Quite against my will, I had become involved in a murder. Thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him. You were planning this all along, weren't you? Right? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial. Only thing I want is the truth. I did back then, and now. Thought my office was doing you a favor when we took you on your defense. It appears that that was wrong, so I guess whatever happened to Phoenix Wright, this dude had something to do with it, and there's a sordid backstory that we don't know about. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Justice? Sir? He's lying, and you're going to expose him. Understood, sir. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright, this can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? You get pressed? You're being pressed? I'm pressing you? How do you like getting pressed? You had dinner with Mr. Gavin? Yeah, he dines me at the Borscht Bowl Club quite frequently. You were enjoying a usual dinner at a usual spot? The usual. The usual? I always eat at the table closest to the piano. I see. Where Mr. Smith was sitting.
So the plates and such on the table were from your dinner?
Indeed. The remnants of my meal with Christoph. We dined for 2 hours, and Christoph left. After that... 5 minutes? So the two of them could have passed in the restaurant during that time? Would have been a fateful encounter, to be sure.
Oh, Mr. Wright, what was it you said? Christoph Gavin and Shady Smith may have met?
I believe I did say that.
Here I was all nervous about this meeting. And now we hear they just passed in the hall.
That does seem a little weak as a pretense for murder. It would be. That was all that really happened. Come on, Mr. Wright. What are you hiding this time? You think that, you know, the reason Phoenix is being such an awful witness is because he's only ever had awful witnesses and he just assumes this is how they're supposed to act? It's learned behavior. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss Olga O'Reilly mentioned? Plan was simple. Elegant, really, see? Set up a trap of sorts. Some sort of conniption. I was playing a card in Mr. Wright's pocket forehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. You dag nabbit, you already seen this. We just saw this like friggin' 30 minutes ago. Less than that even. Just like that, legend would be dashed to pieces. Like a pirate ship on the rocks. Harmless prank, in essence. It was by quirk of fate that it happened to discover it. A quirk? Happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted! Yep, I snuck a peek at it and found it was the 5 of hearts. Had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card. Before the game. Disposed? Where? Can I have it? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I'd been drinking right beside me. Threw the card inside the bottle. Is there grape juice? Is there, can we check it? Is there a card in here? Behind the label? Get examined. Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. Wonder how well it goes with borscht. Probably not well at all. Is there a card on the bottom? No, alright. An empty bottle of grape juice? That's impossible, because that would imply that somebody drank grape juice, which I refuse to believe could ever happen. I don't have anything against grape juice, it's just, you know. I mean, it's not the worst juice. I mean, it's probably actually one of the better juices, but I don't know. I'd never, like, willingly buy it. The murder weapon? Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The colored glass makes it hard to see. Huh. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. Sounds like terrific drama. Card inside the murder weapon? That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. I looked, I didn't see shit. Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3 approves to this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. I discovered the trap during the game and disposed of the card. Did this change after? Because I ain't see a damn thing. Is there... Oh, you can kind of... Maybe? It's completely empty? Okay, maybe not. I mean, I guess it could be another bottle. There were multiple bottles that we see here. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the same one. But it says it's empty. Why in the bottle? Perceived my opponent's intent immediately. I'm used to entrapment, you see. I knew what was coming. Oh, so you struck first. I like that. I know every trick in the book. They don't work on me. At least when you get lucky and stick your hand in your pocket, they don't. I'm pressing you? You're being pressed? You made the call to the police from the first floor of the restaurant, correct? Exactly. Cell phones don't get a signal down in the hideout. Well, was anyone else on the first floor at that time? Obviously not. They only served borscht and grape juice. Do you think anybody went to this fucking restaurant? Are you out of your damn mind, Apollo? Who in the hell is eating borscht and grape juice? Not a soul. It was the middle of the night, after all. Plus, they only served borscht and grape juice. So there in the darkened restaurant, I called the cops. After making the call, I returned to the hideout. Didn't seem right to leave the injured waitress alone. Blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. Does he have a cut? I mean, I guess. And it does say he died via blunt single blow to the forehead at 2 in the morning. And when you return, the victim was already dead. Yes. I'll admit, I was a little startled when I walked in. A little? I'm used to walking with death, Your Honor. He was bleeding from his forehead, after all. I guess I'd be startled too if I walked in on a scene like that. When I made another phone call. Could you explain what you called Mr. Gavin? That obviously got involved in a rather sticky affair. Figured Kristoff's law offices would give me a friend rate for my defense fees. Huh, glad to hear you intend to pay. Well, I'll pay in full, Kristoff. It was I who got you involved, after all. You may find the price of your defense quite high, my good friend. Quite high. Well, I mean, we probably signed a contract ahead of time. You can't just upcharge me after the fact. Is this the truth that Mr. Wright was talking about? Justice, you know what you have to do. He's lying. Expose him, now. Yes, sir. I have to think, what's Mr. Wright trying to tell me with this testimony? The truth has to be in there somewhere. So, I mean, nothing's really jumping out at me. Because, I mean, there's the updated testimony here. And just, but, I mean, he doesn't say it's the same bottle. Like, I feel like it's a leap of, like, we shouldn't assume that it's the same. And, I mean, it tells me it's empty. Well... And, I mean, I guess we try and present the bot. And there's this thing with the battery that... Notify the police. Then we can't see, like, anything in here. Because I feel like there's like two things, which is like, A, I could present the bottle and say, hey, it's empty. And then it's like, well, that doesn't mean anything because he never said it was that bottle. Or it could be like, that's the correct thing, and then it transitions into Wright saying, hey, that's not the same bottle. But I guess we try this. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes. I've examined the bottle and I don't see any card in here. But like, he didn't say it's the same bottle. So I feel like this isn't really a contradiction. Like, you're making an assumption in the first place. When we already have established there's multiple bottles there. It didn't necessarily have to be that one that was used. No? But, Mr. Wright, surely ... isn't all you have to say for yourself. Mr. Wright has decided to become a JRPG protagonist. He will no longer talk and or have any sort of characterization whatsoever. That's not all JRPG protagonists, but a lot of them. Just nameless protagonists in general. Because why, like, write a character when you could just have a bad character instead? Can't say I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh? Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. No, and a sixth person could have helped. Mr. Gavin, Mr. Wright is your client, even though that is a good burn. You get 10 points to the defense for that one. My apologies, Your Honor. I won't have you disparage in our investigation either. I looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. Not even any grape juice. What's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. Fred, decisive contradictions call for decisive evidence. Oh. Push him harder, Justice. Break him. You must break him. It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the KO. Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Okay. I mean, there wasn't really anything new added there. Blood streaming from a cut to his forehead. Because, I mean, it does say it was a blunt hit. Oh no, it doesn't say, it just says a blow. Because I mean, it's not like that wouldn't mean it can't bleed. I mean, it looks like there's blood on the forehead. I feel like there's no contradiction there. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the bottle thing didn't add anything. Well, I mean, if there's blood on his forehead, then shouldn't there be blood on the bottle? Which would mean that this wouldn't be the murder weapon? But that feels kind of tenuous. You know what you have to do? He's lying, expose him. Truth has to be in there somewhere. Usual. Table closest to the piano. I mean, there's multiple bottles of grape juice, but like, I don't know if that's really... if that's supposed to mean anything? Dined for 2 hours. 5 minutes after Kristoff left. Okay. Doesn't seem like there's really much here. And wait, did we try pressing this one again? Because this didn't like add any new information, right? Why in the bottle? No, this is still the same. I mean, we didn't get like punished for presenting the bottle, so it's not like it was wrong. He was bleeding from his forehead. So if he was bleeding from his forehead, and this is the murder weapon, then shouldn't there be blood on it? That's kind of one thing I'm thinking about. Okay, that was not it. Wouldn't say it was clearly faulty, Your Honor. Okay. Sorry, I can see nothing faulty. Have to penalize you? Yeah, that's fine. Must be on the wrong track. Girl was knocked off cold. Smith was uncontrollable. He was dead, blood streaming from a cut on his forehead. I mean, blood's not really streaming, but I mean, it looks like there's blood there. Yeah, we're just kind of taking shots here. All right, let's go with the multiple bottles. Nope. All right, still nothing. Discover the trap during the game. Disposed of the card in the bottle. What about this bottle? We're just really floundering. I don't really know what they want from me. Because I mean, I felt like we had the answer and then it was like, they didn't add anything. And the bottle is completely empty. But like, it didn't like update his testimony or anything. A single blow to the forehead. Oh! Because if he had the hat on, how would you be able to see the blood streaming from his forehead, maybe? If this isn't it, I'm gonna be mad. Okay. Forgot about the hat was still on initially. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Yeah, that's fine. Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Good point. Justice. Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it. I didn't even know to get the boombox ready. Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? We'll see if Mr. Wright can explain this to the court next time. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys. Well, actually, no. Before we end, this is the last video of the recording session, of the initial recording session. So let's talk about the game for a little bit. I'm digging it. You know, kind of floundered there at that last little bit. I just completely forgot the hat was not on his head. That was like a different... Because I guess I kept looking at this one, so I wasn't thinking about the fact that it says the hat was removed during investigation. I just forgot about that. And I was kind of glancing over this picture. But like that's a fine prompt. I have no issue with it, despite my floundering. But yeah, I'm enjoying the game so far. I definitely was like a little wary on the idea of it's like, oh, there's like a new protagonist. Because that's always like an iffy thing in media when you're like, hey, it's a new person. Have fun. You're like, I don't know. I like the old person. I didn't have any problem with the old person, but we'll see how the old Apollo stuff works going forward. But I'm definitely having fun. Having a lot of fun Let's Playing. Again, kind of forgot how much fun these games are to actually like just record and do all the dialogue and everything. Even if I do get tilted by some of the actual gameplay stuff at times. But so far, no issues with the opening trial. Definitely a bit harder than I would have expected for the tutorial trial, but maybe I'm just bad. Which, even if that is the case, I mean, even I've been kind of bad in some of the others and never had issues like the first trials, or the first trial. But this one, I guess, is also a bit more fleshed out, so it's a little bit less of a tutorial than the other opening trials in the game so far. But yeah, alright, so we'll end the video now for real. Fun time, looking forward to playing some more. I'm Extra Cheesy 87. Stay tuned for the next part. And bye, guys.